What's up everyone, Sean here, going to do a review of Ableton Live and Serato's partnership called The Bridge. I'm going to start things off right away here with first thing you want to do is make sure and update the programs if you haven't already done that, so that you can follow along, or you can obviously use this setup. When you do, you're going to see an Ableton button here. If you click on that, it's going to open up your Ableton project if you have an Ableton project already open, which I do. I'll scroll over here and you can see it there, mirroring what I have over in Serato. And right away you'll see 8 audio channels, your master channel, your effects, Big 8 or effects chain, and which of course you can scroll through. Like on this setup, you can see that, and control buttons to scroll up or down or to the side if you have more audio channels. This of course syncs up if you have, like me, an Ableton or an APC 40. You can scroll this way as well. So also with this setup, you're going to see you have arm or disarm buttons, stop buttons, solo buttons, and your A and B sends show up as well. Then you'll also see your name of your Ableton Live set, the master tempo it's set at, internal play button if you want to play say the audio from Ableton without syncing it to the audio of Serato, which you can certainly do. You can also sync it to a deck. Either sync 1 is for syncing to deck 1, and then sync 2 is to syncing to deck 2 or the right deck. And that's the basic layout of the setup. What you want to do, if you want to scratch audio from Ableton, you're going to have to find a track called Ableton Live, which you can, of course, you can type in the search button to find it. But drop that on a deck you want to use. You'll see right away a beat grid. Now that beat grid, if you're new to Ableton, if you're new to Ableton, that beat grid is setting up on the kick of, if you're using like say an audio track or song, and it has a kick, it's gonna warp. It's going to work similar to how warping happens in Ableton, to where it lines up on the kick. You're going to be able to, of course, edit that grid if you need to make adjustments and fix the tempo. If it's going to try and analyze it. If it does have a drum in it, it's going to try and do its best guess to figure out what the tempo of that track is. But that's something you might have to adjust later if you want to be able to sync up your audio with a track playing from Serato. This is something that you guys might want to pay attention to. And then the biggest feature also, of course, I think for most people that are excited about this setup, is being able to record your sets into Ableton. The cool thing about this is you won't actually have to open Ableton Live if you want to just record your sets and you don't plan on using this feature where you want to launch clips and stuff. If you go to the record, you're going to see a new choice now for .als. It's going to record as an Ableton Live set. Now the nice thing about this is if you own the Rain 68 or the 57 SL, that means it's going to not only record the audio, but it's going to record your crossfader movements, your volume fader movements, and your EQs adjustments, and right to an Ableton set, which is sweet because you're going to be able to edit that stuff later if you want, fix errors that you've maybe made, or add more stuff later on. You're going to, of course, make sure and arm it to start recording, and then once you're done, you'll hit the stop button, name it, and save. Good thing to probably wonder, and I wonder myself, is if you forget to name this and save it, does it automatically save the set? That's something I don't know the answer to, but maybe one of you guys can answer this. I don't know if it will automatically save or not. There's 3 major cons that I've noticed with this setup. The first one is, of course, when you look at the beat grid, you don't see the waveform of your audio from Ableton. And I think that's kind of a bummer. When you're looking at audio in Serato, you see not only the waveform, but the coloring is mapped out to high, mids, and lows. You don't see any of that information over here on any of your Ableton clips. unfortunately. But another thing as well, and I think this is a big bummer, is you see how much audio has passed, but you don't see the time remaining. If you're hoping to use this for, playing a song from Ableton Live, fortunately, the only way you're going to know when that song ends is if you go over to Ableton, in this case, and then click on the waveform, and then you can see where your play cursor is at and how much time you have left. That's kind of a big bummer. The other big bummer is if you're syncing up an audio to a deck and you go to Scratch, it only plays the audio forward. It doesn't actually play the audio back. Let me show you what I mean by this. Let me switch over to Ableton so you see this better. As I pull the record back, no audio. So unfortunately, what I've heard is that's because Ableton Live's engine isn't capable of playing audio backwards instantly. Hopefully this is something they're going to fix in an update, or fingers crossed on that. I think there's a good chance they will, and I hope that they fix the not seeing the remaining time here in an update as well, and maybe even the waveform. That maybe this is something they'll add later in future updates, so fingers crossed on that. But then the third major drawback I feel is if you were hoping to use Ableton Live as a sweet way to create complex effects chains and affects the audio coming from your setup, you still can, but the audio that will get affected is only the audio from your Ableton Live clips. It doesn't affect the audio coming from your decks that's coming from Serato itself. So unfortunately, that's another big bummer. It only affects the Ableton Live audio. Those are the three major drawbacks that I feel to this setup that currently exist. If you guys have any questions about this setup, shoot them in the comment section below. Let me know. I'll be happy to try and answer any questions you guys have. And also, if you guys have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I plan on making another video after this one sometime, just showing me playing a typical set with the setup so you guys can kind of see it in action. But I wanted to make this video, of course, to kind of show a review and all the features, pros and cons of the setup. But thanks again for watching. Please rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.